Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is TheSparrowsJourney. Welcome. This is the Technomancer. I cannot skip the introduction, so we might as well see it while I'm recording. But basically, Technomancer is an RPG in a world where everything went to crap. And you are a Technomancer. Technomancer has special powers. They use fluids to engage in combat. The combat is what, for me personally, stands out in this game, with all the moves that you have, with all the options that you have. But before anything else, let's watch the introduction and see what is this world about. Let's choose a new game, and I'm gonna go with normal difficulty.
At the source of all life, there is water. On Mars, where it is rare, water is a source of conflict, struggle, and death. Since the turmoil, there have been unending wars, fought over the possession of clean water. We are the forgotten children of Earth, trapped in this red, barren wasteland. Here, hell is not a concept, it's our reality. And the reality is that every drop counts. Then there were the unfortunates, caught in the full power of the sun's radiation, forced to deform, mutate into unrecognizable monsters. The others, the ones who remained similar to our ancestors in likeness, hid under massive metal shells, governed by water corporations. But in the slums, people's lives aren't worth much more than the mutants. And I would know. That's where I spent the first 10 years of my life, under the boot of the Vori. Of course, in despair, there is hope. Some have begun to explore, travel even, from corporation to corporation, leaving their loyalties behind. We have organization, structure, and inevitably, politics. We have rulers, a people's assembly, and far removed from us, the Dowser, the inaccessible face of abundance. And finally, there's us, the elite protectors of the people, the spearhead of the army, my brothers and sisters who all share the same special gift. We are Technomancers.
So we have a wasteland as a world where you're missing water. Basically, water is really scarce. And you have these guys, these specific guys like us, who are Technomancers, which can manage some sort of power. This is the character creation, and there's not much to it. Unfortunately, it's not that much advanced. You can choose between different faces, skin colors, different hairstyles. I'm gonna try and go through all of them. The hair color and the eye color. There's not much over here to do. You cannot manage how fat you are, how tall you are, if you have any scars or not. You will always apparently have those scars over there. So the character creation is pretty poor when it compared to some other games, but you know, in terms of RPGs, and I will compare this game a lot to The Witcher 3, which is one I'm currently playing right now in my personal time. You know, in Witcher, you cannot even choose your character. You cannot even create one. You'll go always with Geralt. Alright, so let's choose whatever there is over here, randomly. Let's go with this guy. Alright, this guy looks good to me. Alright, after this, you have your talents. And this is one of my first critiques to the game. One of the first things that I don't really think they have done correctly. So at the start, you are to be chosen what abilities you will have. At this point, you don't even know what kind of combat the game has. What kind of gameplay would you wish to have in the game and practice throughout the whole story. So I kind of think that they have done this a little bit too rushed. You should be able to kind of find how the combat is first, and then you will choose the abilities and the kind of combat you want to follow. So I'm gonna go with stealth over here. If you continue, you'll go to your attributes, and in here you will either choose between power, agility, power again, strength actually, agility, power, there we go, and finally constitution. Constitution caters to the Guardian gameplay, in which you play as some sort of tank with a shield. The power one, you play as a Technomancer. You play with magic powers. See, this guy has the wizard of the Technomancer. Then you have agility, which is a rogue. You have strength, which is the warrior. So I'm gonna go with agility, which benefits the rogue style. So let's finish.
Ahoy, Zachariah.
Scott, you came.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. Sure, my memory isn't what it... But I remember to write things down on my calendar.
Alright, let's skip a little bit of this because it's not really important for the main story. It will be down the line some dialogues that we will watch, not this one. So, this is the Technomancer. This is how it looks. I'm going to give you a chance to check the graphics and whatnot. It's not, personally for me, top-notch graphics. It's not going to change the whole world in gaming, but it does look good. It does look decent. When it comes to animation and facial expressions, the game is really poor in that sense. But other than that, combat-wise, it will look amazing. I can promise you that. So over here, one of the first things you can do in the game is getting to the workbench. And once again, I think this was bad planned. This is one of the things that you want to show to the player further down the line. I don't care about crafting when I get out of bed and start the game after the character creation. I know this is important for the player to get to know how crafting works, but further down the line, not now. After some combat, after some missions where I can pick up, items to, in the end, craft something, and after beating someone with my sword, after having some action, not at the start. Either way, the crafting system itself is pretty cool, and I like it. So, whenever you get to the workbench, you get to upgrade some items. So, in here, let's try the nail gun. And you can choose several parts in the item to upgrade, and it will look different depending on which upgrade you will apply to that item. And I think this looks really good. I love it. I love this kind of system. It reminds me a lot about Dead Island, where several weapons you would change them and they will eventually look different. Gloves don't change that much, actually. This is just an upgrade to your Technomancer gloves. They don't change much. Let's go back. Actually, this button saying back is bugged, so let's press escape. Let's go to the shield, the soldier's shield. You can change an upgrade over here as well, and they all look different. I really like this. I like how customizable the look is. My shoulders, for instance, can be changed as well, depending on which upgrade you are applying. The arm, everything will look different depending on which upgrade it is, and obviously the stats will change as well. So that's Workbench, that's the crafting system in the game. Obviously, it will be much different down the line, it will be much more developed.
Mancers. Every time they come around, something new is broken. I fix it, they break it again. I fix it, they break it worse.
Give you a feeling of the game and how it looks. The world feels alive, it does. There's people almost everywhere.
Oh, shit.
Zachariah, today, as you know, marks your final mission as a cadet. I trust you are prepared.
Of course, Master. Ready, willing, and able.
And a little nervous. Normal and...
Now, this is one of the strengths of the game for me personally. The combat. The combat is really rich and you have these slow motion moments and it really adds to the experience. I love it. It gives a cinematic view to the game. Now, you have several different combat options in the game. So we're gonna investigate them, we're gonna go through them, and I'm gonna try to explain them as best as I can with a training session over here. So we can talk to this guy.
Want to test your skills with a knife and a gun? Not really in the rules.
And this guy will give us the training for a rogue kind of gameplay. So let's do that.
Let's do it. All right.
The dialogues are a little bit cringe-worthy sometimes. So you have different states, different combat states in the game. The first one that we're gonna watch is the rogue one. So I'm gonna click X to bring my weapon out. And in the rogue state you have the pistol and a sword. This is what the rogue uses. So I'm gonna lock on my target, like so. And now with my left click, I can just normally attack like so. Did you see that slow motion over there? I didn't do anything for that to happen. That happens occasionally in the game. Now I can press Control to dodge. This is just a personal choice though. It was right click, but I changed it. I think it makes much more sense on the control key. Now with space, it's a different kind of attack other than slash. You kind of rush forward and hit the guy with a poison, like so. I'm gonna go through all these styles and all the attacks that the game tells me to go through. So as you can see, the guy is now poisoned. This is something specifically to the rogue. He poisons the target with the space bar. Now on the right click we have the pistol, and this is what I like the most about the rogue. When you are in a distance, you can just shoot the guy like so, until the weapon becomes too hot and you have to stop it. Obviously you have to choose your main combat style, but you probably can in the long run, when you have enough ability points, choose a secondary combat stance. So I can go with a rogue and I can go with a guardian mixed together, and that might work, but at this point I cannot guarantee that. So let's switch to guardian mode. That will bring up the shield and the range. We can shield block with our right click like so. So if it attacks us now, we will block this. Now you can go with a mace and attack him like so. And that's the blocking. We don't take any damage at all. I don't know actually if you can block infinitely, if there's something stopping me from blocking. Let's see. It doesn't seem so, but probably if two targets attack you right one after the other, you will eventually be hit, even if you are blocking. Alright, now this is a dodge, just as with a rogue. Normal dodge. And now we have a shield bash, which replaces the poison attack with a rogue. So if I do this, I'll charge in with a shield. So let's switch to the staff mode, like so. We bring up our staff. Now fast attack with left click, like so. I look like Gandalf right now. Dodge, just like the other dodges, but a little bit more acrobatic. Now space to disrupt an attack. Every single time the guy is attacking, I can disrupt and stop his attack with this. Like so. Whenever he's attacking, instead of having the block from a shield, you have this, which in my opinion is better. Now an area kind of attack with my right click. This replaces the pistol in the rogue. The rogue is the one I'm most familiar with. So this will supposedly attack all around me. The Technomancer powers is something that you can use with whatever combat style you choose. So the rogue over here, if I bring up my sword, and if I choose number 2, it will electrify my weapon. There we go, I activated the Technomancer power, and this will electrocute the target once in a while. It's not guaranteed every single time. So if I press tab, here are all my other Technomancer powers. So if I choose one with that power, I will assign electric arcs to my first key, to my number 1 key. So now if I use it in combat, it will do this. I can use this power with every single combat style that I have. Now when it comes to responsiveness, that's where I feel the game needs some improvement. For instance, I'm gonna give you a small example. When I press my right key right now, this will happen. I would rather much more have the character move already. So if I press and hold my left click right now, it takes a huge while for the character to start moving to the left. If I press my right click, same thing happens. I know the animation needs to be there and watch the guy, you know, moving around and turning around, but it doesn't feel responsive as much as it should be. For the combat to feel fluid. Let's continue down this path.
Zachariah, do you remember your first lesson?
On the scarcity of life?
Indeed, the very one. Kill a fellow unfortunate and, in this hell...
So in Technomancer, you don't literally kill your targets. You knock them down, and that's their state, as long as they are humans. If they're monsters, you end up killing them. In Technomancer, you have this karma system. Whenever you bring down a foe, you have the option to either kill it or leave it alive. If you kill it, you will have some currency. You have more currency, but you will lose karma, which will in the end affect how companions interact with you, and most surely will affect how the world interacts with you as well in terms of quests and whatnot. So if I do middle mouse click, I will now focus on this guy, but I might not want to do this if there are several targets around me, because I might want to hit them as well. I'm gonna shoot this guy a couple times until my weapon is hot. Now let's go in. Thrust first, let's get out. He's not poisoned, or should be. Apparently the poison is just a chance it might happen or not. Let's go against this guy. Help our master. Is our pistol up? It is. Let's do that. He's poisoned right now. Let's go. I don't know exactly how to change the target we have at focus. I actually don't know how to do that. So when you're finished with the targets, you can search them for stuff. This guy has worker's shoes, so let's take it. And then you have drain serum, which is basically killing them. Right now, they're not dead, even though they look like they are dead. So if I press R, I will get their serum and I will kill them. In result, I will have serum, 6 serum, but I will have 1 less karma, which will turn out probably make us an evil character in the world. And this is gonna be a choice for you in the world. You know, you can always choose to be either evil or a good guy. When it comes to looting stuff in the world, there's not much of that. You have some boxes here and there, but there's not much loot you can get from the world. Let's try to sneak on this guy and have a stealth attack on him. There's a guy on the other side, so he'll probably watch me. There we go, he saw me. So let's focus on one target, this girl over here. Let's attack her a few times and let's dodge. Let's try to poison her, like so. She is poisoned now, and she got electrocuted, so I should have hit her a couple times. Let's shoot her. Sometimes you miss, sometimes you don't. She's missing an awful lot. What I would really like to see in this game, though, even though the combat looks great already, is the fact that there's no counterattacks. I would wish there would be a deflect attack or deflect ability that in the end would block their attack and would give you an extra attack. I really enjoy the way they have done the interface in the game. I really like this. So in here you can see an exclamation point because we have something, we picked up something that we didn't have before. So here it is. We can check how it does it look if we equip it, and we can check the stats in comparison to the one we already are using. We can do the same thing with all of the other slots. For instance, my feet, I can equip workers' shoes. They look like that. Those are the stats comparison. I'm not going to care too much about that right now. So let's see what's over here in the bag. Focus injection and exploding trap. I can use traps in the game. Over here, metal debris, quest items. I don't have any. In here, we also have the skills, which you will be provided with once you level up. I will choose, obviously, the rogue tree. You have also the guardian, the technomancer, and the warrior. In here, you have your talents, which we currently have none. Attributes, stats, all the different kind of info you can get. The journal, which would be your quests. The map. That looks like so. And finally, the world map, which is much bigger. Obviously, if you choose at the start some agility attributes, you want to go with a rogue tree. So let's pick on that. We can see over here all the abilities that we have. So we have the veteran thief, which allows us to use daggers and guns. We have trust, which I can use with my space key. You have slash, the shooting ability, and roll. Over here, right now, I'm not allowed to go anywhere else other than this, upgraded slash. This gives me a 35% chance of dodging blows and shots during this attack. So this will make our life much easier when we are attacking. Alright, so we're done with that. Let's go back and continue. This is a huge boost to your gameplay. I don't like these things, you see? I don't like to have to press E to climb down things. This is not responsive. This doesn't feel fluid. Anyway, let's continue. Here's my master.
Looters gathered at the dome's entrance. A lot of them, but they're not equipped to be more than a nuisance.
Take care nonetheless, Zechariah. That guard there, separated from his group.
Alright, this is where they introduce you stealth gameplay, which I have been trying to show you. So let's use F for stealth mode. Let's climb down. For some reason, we get out of stealth mode. Oh, apparently we didn't. Good. My mistake. And let's go in. And why not? Let's first steal. We got serum, and now we can stealth attack. I don't know why you would do that, because you probably can pick it up when he's dead. Why am I shooting him in melee? I have no idea. My master seems to be doing a great job over there. Now there's more coming. Let's focus on this guy. Let's try to poison him. Seems like a good idea. I don't know if that attack went off or not. There we go. He should be poisoned right now. Apparently he's not. Apparently thrust does not poison him at all times. Electrocuted, so let's go in and hit him a couple more times. There we go, he's down. Should this girl get her attention? Now in this situation, those two guys are together. Should I change to my staff to go with area of effect attacks? I'm not actually sure if you're supposed to do that or not. My master is almost dead though. So if I do this, I will attack all the targets around me. I am not proficient with this combat style though. I was waiting for them to get together. There we go. Let's change to rogue mode again, because you can do it on the fly in the game. Is this advised or not? I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, because you chose, or I chose, agility points, I'm much better off with the rogue ability and with a rogue combat style. There's nothing to pick up over here. Supposedly there's a box, but I cannot pick it up. So let's continue. Hopefully get a stealth attack over here on that lady before anyone notices. There's one on the right. Let's be quick. She looks kind of surprised. I really don't know how to change the target I'm focusing on. It kind of bothers me a little bit. My master is almost dead. I don't know if that's going to affect the main story or not, or if he can't even die. But let's try to help him out a little bit. There we go. Let's move away. Now, when comparing this to The Witcher, one of my biggest complaints about Witcher was the combat. And I know this is... You know, this doesn't make sense because Witcher, the combat in Witcher is a huge part of the game. And if you don't like the combat, obviously, you're gonna have a hard time liking the game. The thing is, Witcher for me, at least in Death March difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty, is all about dodging. The combat is always about dodging and deflecting the attacks, you know, on the right point. Especially dodging. You need to be dodging all around in that game. And in here, in the Technomancer, there's much more to it. It's not just about dodging. You have shooting, which you also have in The Witcher, but you don't. If you don't have points into the crossbow, you're not gonna use it ever. And it's not just that. There's more about the combat other than just dodging and attacking whenever it's the right time. I did poorly up there. I don't know why is he going for my master, but let's chase him. He's now on the floor. My master seems to be using the staff combat style. Let's get out of there. Wow, we're being heavily damaged over here. Let's shoot him a couple times. Let's use, why not, the Technomancer powers, which we have not been using at all. Almost down myself. So let's use a... I actually don't have, do I? I do. I do have some potions over here. They call it health injections. There you go. I used one, and I'm all healed up. Actually, not all the way up, but still... Let's kill this girl, finish her up. Apparently my master cannot die, so we're fine. And there we go. Does this look like an arena? Maybe. Let's finish these guys off. 3 of them down pretty quickly. Let's get the 4th one. My pistol is now hot. I cannot shoot with it. Let's try to poison this thing. This thing is probably immune to poison. It throws poison itself. Poor lobsters. You saw this coming, right? You saw this coming. This is a boss, and I don't know how frequent these are in Technomancer. I don't know if this is a thing in the game. There is some sort of strategy to finish this guy off. Obviously, this is not going to be Dark Souls, but there are some things you need to be worried about when it comes to face this guy. You see that red belly over there? That's what you want to hit. So let's focus this guy, and let's shoot it a couple times. Normally what I do against this guy is, that's one of the things you need to avoid, is I shoot it from a distance. And if you shoot anything else that is not the belly, you are not going to do much damage. So let's try to shoot it from a distance. Let's use our Technomancer powers. Like so. Now, you can go in. I'm going to heal myself, by the way. You can go in and try to attack the red belly for a little while. But that thing will pinch you if you don't get out of it soon enough. So I'm going to try to do that to demonstrate it. I'm going to shoot it a couple of times. There we go. As you can see, you will immediately hit anything that is down below and near her belly. And it's pretty hard to avoid being hit once you go in and slice it a couple times. I did it now. That was pretty lucky. If you hit anything that is not the belly, once again, you will not do much damage. So let's keep trying to hit the belly. Let's heal ourselves. I only have 2 more portions after this. Let's go around. There are certain things you want to avoid, and this is one of them. There we go, I avoided it with a dodge. I'm gonna hit the belly a couple times, but I'm always hit by that melee attack once I go in. Okay, now it's protecting the belly, and I shouldn't be there. I shouldn't be there either, and I'm almost dead already. So let's use an injection. Let's try to be more careful. Let's try to hit from a distance more often with my pistol. It's turning away though, and I'm hitting the legs. Now there are these small minions over here, but the big one can kill them. So I'm not going to bother too much about them. Need to get in front of it for a clear shot on the belly, like so. Let's go a Technomancer attack. There we go, and let's get it away. Now let's drink an injection once again, but one of the mana ones, so that I can get my Technomancer powers earlier. I'm not able to go around it for some reason. There we go. Now by doing this, you can avoid her main attacks. Alright, let's move away. Let's drink one more potion, one more mana potion, that is. As you can see, it's hitting the little ones and it's killing them. So we don't need to care much about these small ones much. I am filling the belly once again, hitting the legs. We don't want that. Let's put a trap down. Why not? I have no idea how to use it. Let's see. Let's put it down. It's probably going to hit whoever steps on it. And apparently the big one stepped on it. You're not supposed to kill it, apparently. You're just supposed to nearly kill it. I guess we tried to use our Technomancer powers far too much. Kind of strange you don't get to know what exactly happened. It seems that our master took us out of that situation, but we don't know what happened to the big bug. It's finally time for some performance testing. So currently, the game is running at 40 frames per second, given that I'm not running everything at max. So I'm going to change it right now and see what are the results of that. Currently, I'm running everything at max except shadows. I'm running at 1440p with a GTX 970. So if I bring shadows to ultra, it means that I will have everything at ultra and every single possible option at max. I also have my field of vision at max. GTX 970 at 1440p resolution, 30 frames per second, about between 30 and 35 frames per second at max settings. Now if I bring that down, let's see what are the results of that. So in the general options, if I enable or disable VSync, I'm gonna have pretty much the same frames per second. I can test that out as well. Let's disable it. 7 quit. Get out and see the differences. It's pretty much the same. 32, 33 frames per second. So VSync has absolutely no effect on your frames per second here. Actually, it seems that you cannot disable it. Strangely enough. It's disabled. 7 quick. Let's check the options again. It's enabled again. It seems that VSync is forced onto the game. Either way, let's now lower the options a little bit. So let's go with medium shadows, medium. Let's go with medium everything and some options disabled. Let's go with anti-aliasing disabled. Let's go with particles normal, even though this will probably not affect much when you are standing still. And textures at medium. Normal. Let's go like so. Well, let's see what's the impact of that in the performance. Now we went up to, and I can see that in the menu already, we went to 48 to 50 frames per second. So it improves a lot, changing the settings a little bit. You can see some jagged edges without anti-aliasing, obviously. But what takes the most hit on the performance is shadows for me. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TheSparrowsJourney. I hope you have enjoyed this video on the Technomancer. Right now, I would end this video by asking you, will you play the Technomancer? It's the game that is coming out today, 28th of June, on about $40 mark. So it's not really a cheap game. But they claimed it to have something like 20 hours of gameplay if you just play the main campaign. If you go and play some secondary missions, you get something like 15 hours plus on top of that. Like the video if you haven't by now. Say something in the comment section if you have something to say about the game or the video itself. Subscribe if you are new around here, and by all means, have a good day.